Why so chilly?
We don't have to talk about the movie. I'm just glad to be where it's warmer.
You're just sitting outside the car while they're doing the review, just pawing at the window. We're sorry we made you go see Carrie. Please let us in.
I forgot it's that time of year when it's cold outside.
It's completely slipped my mind.
Alright, well, we were at Escape Plan, which I was heavily looking forward to. You, not so much, really.
I expected it to be dumb, and it was pretty dumb, but it was entertainingly dumb.
I had a blast.
You were expected to have a blast.
Well, I mean, like, I legitimately, like, really did have, like, a really fucking good time at this. Like, this isn't one where it's like...
It wasn't just that I liked it because it had Sylvester Stallone in it.
Yeah, or Arnold, or, yeah, it wasn't like when I was at Bullet to the Head, where I was kind of like...
Having to force yourself?
Yeah, well, I was kind of like, this movie's not very good, and I really can't argue a day with much on this, but... I don't regret watching it. But this one, though, it really isn't that way with me at all. Like, I legitimately had a lot of fucking fun in this. I thought it was better than Bullet to the Head. I liked it better than The Last Stand. And The Last Stand I like, but I like this one a lot better.
For me, this felt like a good, corny Steven Seagal type movie.
A better one than the prison movie he actually did.
No, I didn't see that one.
Half Past Dead. Oh, God.
He'd take you to the bank, Senator. No, that's
That's Hard to Kill. That's a much better movie.
Okay, I have my own problems with Hard to Kill. That's the one where, like, he went into a coma, like, right as his wife died, and then woke up for him the next day and immediately started fucking some broad.
Well, I mean...
It's like some high emotional turnover.
It's been 10 years.
Yeah, technically, for everyone but him, it's been 10 years.
He had to grow the sweet 10-year Steven Seagal beard out. Hair the same length.
And then take the senator to the blood bank.
Yeah, and then he takes the senator to the blood bank.
And then take his lady to the sweetness.
Yeah. Honestly,
sweetness.
like, I thought... I even thought this was better than the other Stallone breaking out of prison movie.
Yeah, you were saying I've seen that one, and I don't remember anything about it.
Well, I was like, if you don't remember much of Lockup, I can't say I blame you.
But what was this one called?
What was the name of the movie?
Yeah.
Escape Plan.
Escape Plan, okay.
That's always a good sign. What the hell did we just watch again?
I don't fucking know.
The original title was The Tomb, and like at the last minute they changed it to Escape Plan.
The Tomb would have made more sense, because that was the name of the prison.
Yeah. I don't know why they changed
people thought
it.
It'd be confused with like an actual literal tomb.
With Bruno Mattei's The Tomb.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's ever in everyone's mind.
This mine. The Stallone lockup from the 80s, it was Donald Sutherland was evil prison warden and has a grudge against Sylvester Stallone. So like on the day that a month before Stallone is supposed to be released, he's transferred to like a maximum security prison where they make his life a living hell.
Yeah, he gets like shivved.
Yeah.
Okay. He gets shivved in this one too, but that's on purpose.
It's got that one part where they take that car out for like a spin and shit in the...
Yeah, they're like working on it in like the prison auto shop.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's Tom Sizemore was one of the guys in it, but like this I liked. This one I liked a lot better than that one.
It's just so silly.
It is, but I mean it's the kind of silly that a movie like this should be. Fucking Christ, like Sylvester Stallone is
it's professional prison breaker outer.
This is great because like fucking with his job, like you could fucking stab a guy in prison, fucking blow up a car and shit, and fucking just get your ass handed to you, and it's just his job. He's got to break out of prison somehow. He can just straight up murder a dude.
Plus, I love that they tried so hard to sell Stallone to us as like this super smart...
He's a genius in this.
Used to be a lawyer, now breaks out of prisons for career. There's like a part where like his one of his little sidekicks is like playing with like some computer program that like makes puzzles, and he's like, "Man, I've solved it. Better luck next time, kid."
He is like, holy shit. He's like I don't know, if you cross Albert Einstein with The Wizard and fucking, like, A Beautiful Mind, like, Stallone's smarts in this movie trumps all of that.
Except
Holy
that he still
shit!
talks like Stallone.
Well, I mean...
in monosyllabic sentences. Just, you know, it keeps referencing how goddamn smart he is.
He's smart, but he's also got to let people know he's tough.
Well, yeah. The fact that he's shaped like this lets people know he's tough.
That was great. But I was sitting there thinking that in the movie, like, this is the smartest character he's ever played in a movie. He could just give him, like, a fucking dandelion and a toothpick. He'll make a bazooka.
It's like peeling the wax out of a milk carton to, like, make a fingerprint analyzer.
I love that. I was like, so now that proves that a prisoner would have the smarts to do that shit. Now you know that a prisoner can't take a milk carton, peel the metal off of it, just in case you were to ever have a prisoner that does this. I feel like
it's like 101 uses for toilet paper would have been the alternate title for this movie. He uses that shit for like everything. Mm-hmm. He's like using it to like jam up locks and like to jam up other locks. Some other stuff that suddenly is. I assure you he uses toilet paper a lot. Mm-hmm. But like because it starts out with him breaking out of another different prison, like one that he's not tricked into, and I've actually found that kind of believable because it wasn't just like, oh yeah, prisoners could totally figure out all this high tech shit I was doing, and more like, you know, your detention level is like right next to the fire station, separated by like a weak ass chain link fence. So maybe you should address that concern.
Yeah, like, I was actually really intrigued by all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Even when he's in the tomb, like, I was legitimately sitting there like, I'm really curious to know how he's gonna make it out of this. And, like... And there were some factual errors, but it's hard to fuss about those in a movie like this. Yeah. I was mostly just mad about the goddamn Musketeer one. Because his last name was Porthos. Yeah. Like his pseudonym, and Arnold is like, the fourth Musketeer. And D'Artagnan was the fourth Musketeer. I mean, like, the other three were Toad's friends already. He's been in prison a long time. It's whatever. But, like, the part with, like, he gets put in the hole in the tomb, and there's this part about he's talking about, like, you know, the high heat and high humidity, they should have used aluminum screws, but they used steel screws, which are gonna rust, so I, like, made this concave mirror to, like, shine the light and, like, make the screws so hot that they kind of just, like, pop out like popping corn, and then he just, like, you know, goes down. I have to wonder how true that was, but I don't know, from science. Well, you saw how smart he was in the movie. I have to take his word for it, because, that man's a fucking genius. He's a fucking genius. And, like, and Arnold is the inmate who's in there with him and kind of helping him do shit. And Arnold, like, was great in this. Like, Arnold, in my eyes, like, fucking brought his A game to this shit. Mm-hmm. Like, he was awesome. Rocking, like, the sweet goatee. He had that whole big scene in was it like German or maybe Austrian? Where he was doing like this whole big, like, it was a distraction so that Sylvester Stallone could climb all over the walls. But like this whole big speech about God and Jesus and the devil in some Germanic language, and he was selling that. It was really good. It was like, and yeah, like you said, I mean, it was done as a distraction, but like even still, like that was actually a really heavy monologue he was doing. Like, and aside from that, even like other like lighter moments in it when he's like, "I'm gonna polish your head," yeah, like the twist going. Yeah, the twist going and shit. Like Arnold was having a blast, and he really smiled for the camera. Where he's like, "Cheat." And like he really brought his A game in this. God, when they were like, I don't know if you call it waterboarding him, but like when they like just stuck the hose down his throat and just started filling him with water. Yeah, that was painful to watch because it was kind of like the no, but it was like genuinely disconcerting. There's always got to be a scene in an Arnold movie when he's getting tortured. And like he and Stallone, like they were really good together. Like when they're to again like get themselves thrown in the hole and they're fighting each other and trading like you're punched like a vegetarian. How was that? Not bad. But like oh no. Like in power grid's been shut down. Oh, I like how that's really easy. Oh, there's the switch. Clunk. Done. This prison sucks. The boat disarmed. I'm surprised he didn't just like. Well, he kind of did actually. Like, just shoot one camera. They all go out.
He did some Foostery thing,
Yeah.
like make the one camera be all the cameras, and then just broke it.
Like in The Last Stand, the Arnold movie he had out earlier. Like that was a fun movie, and Arnold was fun in it. I mean, I fucking love Arnold. Like, of course I was gonna like this movie. It's got two of my favorite action guys in it. But in that one, like Arnold was fun and he was good in it. But you could tell watching The Last Stand that he'd been away from movies for like 8 years. You know, in this. Like,
He seemed
not
pretty
at
natural.
all.
I mean, he was still hamming it up. But
Yeah, he was
a hammy fucking movie.
Yeah, he was definitely hamming it up, but it wasn't out of place or anything like that. And even with that monologue, and when the dude's dying at the end, and he's kind of comforting him a little bit, and he wants to carry him up on the bridge, but the guy just
Yeah, God forbid the ethnic guy survived at the end of the movie.
hey, 50 Cent lived.
That was 50 Cent? Okay. Well, he was never really in danger, and he was kind of a schmoey character, but
Yeah,
I was a little mad that they killed off the one ethnic guy. Although he did get to go out in a blaze of glory.
He did. He went out like a
Give
champ,
me your guns.
man.
Ah!
He did, and the scene with him and Arnold there was like fucking great. Like, honestly, like I'm not gonna say it's one of Arnold's best movies, but I really do think it's one of his best performances.
Twins?
Well, other than Twins.
There you go.
Imagine if this was the sequel to Twins. Vincent Benedict gets thrown in prison. Julius has to go in and break him out. You know what?
I would watch the unholy shit out of
Oh
that
my
movie.
god, yes, I fucking would. And there's
Julius, I'm driving.
you know, I could teach you that, Vincent. Hey, Julius, let me tell you something. No one likes a smart ass, all right? Ooh, I like nuke food. There was also,
Over the tongue and past the gums.
look out, stomach, here it comes. Ow. Jim Caviezel is the...
I still can't believe that was Jim Caviezel.
Me too, because it looked like he was enjoying himself.
Let's say outside he was Eric Robertson the shit out of that role. He even had like the kind of weirdly moist lips that Eric
Yeah,
Robertson
like
has.
I was like, yes. You are not breaking out of this prison, Mr. Breslin. I am God. I was waiting for him to compare himself to God, since he's most famous for Passion of the Christ. I'm not the biggest Jim Caviezel fan in the world. It's because I don't think he's like a terrible actor or anything. I just find him kind of bland in a lot of stuff that he's in. Like, he's really more or less the same in most shit I've seen him in. Here, though, it's honestly probably like the first time I've seen him having a really good time in a movie. Like, I really liked him in this movie. You're right. I mean, he was Eric Robertson the shit out of it. He really was. He was a cheesy action movie villain. But you know what? It's been a little while since in a lot of the action movies coming out recently, like even to go back to The Last Stand again, it's a movie I like, but the villain was just so bland and cut and paste and just really just blah, fucking forgettable. Like, okay, he's the bad guy, he does some shit, the end of the fucking movie. In this, like, he was chewing up fucking scenery left and right, and I kind of miss that in a lot of the cheesier action movies that come out now. But and even like at the end, when, spoiler, he gets blown up.
Boom.
Yes, Stallone has
He shoots a bunch of oil barrels and then ignites them with another bullet. And when he does, he goes boom, bang, and Jim Caviezel goes.
I like that. Or he's like, well,
I guess I exploded.
This is how it ends.
Goodbye, everybody.
Touche, Ray Breslin.
You did write the book on blowing me up.
You know what? I also really like too that he was like, I mean.
No, that scene was overshadowed by Arnold's subsequent line, "Have a lovely day, asshole."
Have a lovely day. And you think that that's going to be the line, and you're kind of like, what? And then he goes, asshole. Like.
And the audience of 5 explodes.
Yeah. I lost my shit at that. That was That was awesome.
Yeah, I did feel bad, like, because I was riffing a little bit, because it's that sort of movie,
Oh, yeah.
and, like, we were, like, cackling, but all the people in the theater were our kind of people, so they were laughing, too.
Yeah, if you're gonna go see, like, a preview screening of Escape Plan at 10 o'clock at night, then you're our kind of people. I did like how Jim Caviezel was actually a decent shot. Like, he actually got a few hits when he was taking some shots at him.
One of the rungs on the ladder.
Yeah.
He's like climbing the ladder onto like a helicopter and ting, oh no, the rope one swung free. So intense, you guys.
It's Stallone with his big ass gun coming out of the helicopter. God. Awesome.
Arnold, you mean?
Sorry.
Yeah, because like the helicopter lands and Arnold ran up and they're like, we gotta go. He's like, no, we're waiting for Sylvester Stallone. So like it's got this big mounted machine gun and Arnold lifts it off its mooring.
But it goes into close up of Arnold eyes first.
And then just for
like 5 minutes.
Just like exploding into red mist all the henchmen.
That was great. That was so much fun. And it's all on a boat. Like, really, it's sort of like, how much security does this need? It's on a boat in the middle of nowhere.
Just don't sail too close to land. You're fine. Yeah, it was basically like they didn't know where they were, so like he got put in the hole on purpose, and then
it makes a compass.
Because he knew that there was a hole in the floor of the hole, and he just kind of assumed that it went somewhere important, so he like got thrown in there and went out, and then went up to the roof. He's like, oh no, we're on a boat, and then climbed back down and back up again. It wasn't a compass, it was a sextant.
Oh.
So he made a sextant out of a test tube that he managed to find, a piece of card, 2 pens, and he like punched some guy and stole his glasses and snapped him in twain and made a sextant to give to ethnic guy because there were a bunch of Muslims that were in the boat prison, and they were doing like their morning prayer and their evening prayer, and the guy's like, I want to do my evening prayer on the surface so that I can see my God, and he goes up there like with the sextant, is like figuring out the star charts and so forth and pretending to pray.
I love that guy. I love that guy he stole the glasses from, because it doesn't show him taking the glasses.
Just shows the guy with the glasses, and then it cuts back to him, no glasses, big ol' frown, giant black eye.
Mean mugging Arnold. Like, you just a fucking son of a bitch, I'm gonna get my fucking glasses.
I don't even know why he did that. There's like the little bit characters just cracking me up, because there was Glasses Guy, and there was
Jones.
My favorite, the Bulletooth Tony, who was amazing, but my favorite, Wrench Guy.
Poor Wrench Guy. Well,
You explain Wrench Guy, because he was kind of amazing.
Well, it's Stallone goes in there to basically shut the power out in the ship so he can open the escape hatches, and there's
one guy in like a jumpsuit with a wrench.
With a big wrench.
On the horn, like, yeah, he's here, I got it.
Tiny Asian dude,
turns around to hit him with the wrench and just gets popped in the nose for his trouble. Down, that's the last you see of him. How short it took me to do it is how short it was in the movie.
Yeah, It's Sarah sitting there like, that was his big break.
God bless you, Wrench Guy. You're gonna own this town.
He is gonna get so fired. After the explosions, he's probably dead.
Yeah. Oh, you made it sad. You don't know, maybe he swam to freedom with his wrench.
Stallone's gonna feel really guilty when half of those prisoners get away and start murdering people.
It seemed like most of them were just like effectively hostages. Although you'd think he would have been madder. We're getting into spoilers again at the end. When it turned out that the fact that he was in prison was Arnold's fault from the get-go, like, barely Bobby Goran's fault, like, Vincent D'Onofrio's fault in the slightest, he just kind of, like, took advantage of the situation, because Arnold was in prison originally, and so his daughter, to break him out, basically goes to Sylvester Stallone's like, hey, try to break out of this prison, and then erases all of his records, so he has to escape out of the prison with the help of her dad.
Yeah.
You'd think he would have been madder, but he's just like, well, what are you gonna do? Bye, guys!
Touche, old friend. Until next time.
And I was like, I hope I never see you guys. Like, no, why are you gonna say that?
Why do you gotta say it like that? It's okay, he wasn't mad because Vincent D'Onofrio was the bigger dick.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Arnold was the bigger dick. Vincent D'Onofrio was just like, yeah, okay, keep him forever, what do I care?
That's so much worse.
Bobby did such a good job in that movie, too, because he was kind of like a weird, nebbishy, obsessive-compulsively hand-washy guy.
Yeah.
with like a peculiar New Jersey accent that he's affecting. Who's in charge of like the breaking out of prison company.
He's the guy who instantly he comes on screen and you're like,
oh, he did it.
he did it. And maybe not my favorite part, but my favorite dumb part was the doctor in the movie is Sam Neill.
He opens the door, it's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Sam Neill, what are you doing here? Sam Neill is the doctor. He's not like a prisoner who's also a doctor. He's a doctor who happens to work on this prison ship. So
he's very conflicted about it.
Yeah,
He's acting.
So Stallone's kind of trying to get some information out of him, like where they are, because Stallone doesn't know where in the world that they are, let alone that they're on a ship at the beginning part of the movie. He's lecturing Sam Neill about ethics.
You're a doctor, you swore you'd do no harm.
You swore you'd do no harm.
Remember the Hippocratic Oath.
Remember the Hippocratic Oath. So then, later on, when Sam Neill has his change of heart, it's over a nice scotch in his hand, taking a drink, with a
just
book.
Staring down the Hippocratic Oath inside of his medical ethics book.
A book that's literally titled Medical Ethics. I'm in the theater like,
I wonder what I should do. Let's consult the old medical ethics book. Do no harm, goddammit. It.
That's like seeing a character in a movie conflicted about getting revenge, and he's sitting in front of the Bible where it says "Thou shalt not kill."
Oh gosh darn it!
Chug scotch. Right, this is why I got into this business.
This is why I took this book off the old shelf.
Well, I mean, this is. It's the kind of movie where, like, if you're sold on the trailer, you're gonna like the movie. If you're looking at it and you can tell that this is totally your cup of tea, you're definitely gonna have a blast with this movie. And honestly, even if it's really not, you might even like it better than you think you will. Because I legitimately, it isn't just like one of those deals where it's like, yeah, I liked it because it's me. I legitimately really, really dug the shit out of this movie.
I don't know about that. I think that if you like extremely dumb, two-dimensional action movies with likable characters, then you'll like it. If you don't, then you're not gonna like this movie.
But you seem to like it better than you thought you would.
I like dumb movies, though.
But you were kind of like, you didn't seem in the best of mood when
you said that, you mentioned that you walked in expecting to like it because Sylvester Stallone. I was of two minds because sometimes Sylvester Stallone annoys the snot out of me.
Not me.
But, like, I do genuinely like action movies like that. So the fact that he was, acting his age, and the fact that, his character was written way, way smarter than he was played sort of tongue-in-cheek, with all, like, the finger guns and so forth, made it okay for me. And, like, the rest of the movie was charming enough and elicited enough laughs out of me that was fine. But, same for me if this movie had been Bruce Willis, I probably would have walked in expecting to like it. I might have just been disappointed, Red 2, but...
You know what, that's why I still love fucking Stallone, because Stallone doesn't, like, not even in Bullet to the Head, Stallone really doesn't half-ass his shit. Like, Stallone doesn't, like, even at this age, doesn't sleepwalk through his stuff. He genuinely seems proud of what he's doing. Like, he acts no different in this than he would if he made the movie in the 1980s.
This was kind of a love letter to the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I mean, same with Arnold, too. He's neither one of the guys are sleepwalking through this. They're not being, like... it doesn't seem like they're doing it for a paycheck at all. It seems like they're genuinely having a blast here in the same way, the same kind of attitude that they would in the 1980s, whereas there's some actors I've seen and stuff now where it's like, I don't think you want to be here.
Yeah, this movie felt
Bruce
more
Willis.
than anything else like they had to talk other people into helping them make this movie.
You mean like the supporting cast or something?
Yeah, like they're like, okay guys, here's what we're gonna do. Me and him, we're gonna break out of prison. Who's with us?
Break out of prison. Come on, man! Who's with us? Yeah, like Bruce Willis in Die Hard 5. Jesus
I
Christ,
haven't
did
really.
not want to be there.
I'm starting to feel the same way about Bruce Willis that I do about Steven Seagal, and that I like his early stuff, but watching his nowadays stuff just makes me kind of sad.
Every now and then you'll get yourself a looper, but seems like for every looper there's...
Die Hard 5?
Maybe not that bad. That was like bottom of the barrel bad, but...
Red 2, then.
But like, yeah, like something that's like way below average bad, like... Die Hard 5 was below fucking average. Or like, okay, Harrison Ford in like that Paranoia movie.
I didn't see that Paranoia movie. He is kind of doing a weird voice in the Ender's Game preview, which we got again. I'm starting to get sick of it, but I do still hope I like that movie. But
we got Ender's Game, we got Pompeii.
Pompeii looks ridiculous, but I'm totally on board with that movie. What was the one that you liked that I thought looked dumb?
Nonstop.
Yeah, Nonstop. That looked boring. Liam
It's
Neeson's
Liam
on a
Neeson
plane,
on a
you
plane.
guys.
And
I
he
think
says
stole
quick...
it, but he totes didn't.
Oh, but he says quickly there's no time in the trailer.
I think he said a certain set of skills, too.
Yeah, I have a certain set of skills. It's Liam Neeson, bomb on a plane, someone's gonna kill a passenger every 20 minutes, Julianne Moore's there.
Like sleeping for some reason.
I'm guessing she's probably the bad guy.
Oh, well, it's women can't be bad guys.
That's not true. I've seen Cynthia Rothrock play a villain.
Oh, I bet.
And there was Carrie Snodgrass in Murphy's Law. She came at Charles Bronson with an axe.
She sure did, I'm sure.
Oh, you'd like that movie. Murphy's Law is great. It's where he goes up to the guy and says, the guy says to him, "Hey, you know Murphy's Law?" And he goes, "I only follow Jack Murphy's Law, which is don't fuck with Jack Murphy. Leave."
I follow that law just in the sense that I don't know Jack Murphy.
Oh, that's the character that Charles Bronson played. You don't fuck with Jack Murphy.
Gotcha. Like he's like, you don't cross Alex Cross.
Yeah, but I legitimately wouldn't cross Charles Bronson. I think I could outrun Tyler Perry.
He's so full of cookies.
Yeah.
But what we did get that I'm very excited about,
Oh my
even though this
God.
is the first I've seen of it, was a Frankenstein.
Fucking I Frankenstein.
Was it I Frankenstein?
Yeah.
I thought it was just Frankenstein.
No, it's I, comma
Aaron
Frankenstein.
Fucking Eckhart is sexy Frankenstein.
He's so sexy.
Frankenstein, save us from the gargoyle people.
It should be called I Frankenstein's Monster.
I know. It's sad that's the first thing. I'm like, oh, they shouldn't be calling him Frankenstein.
That's
Shut
like-
up, Sarah.
Oh, that's like that fucking guy. This is real good. Sorry, real quick, just to go back. There was a fucking guy when I went on No, it was Metacritic. Metacritic on Escape Plan. There was some fucking guy on there. I think Todd McCarthy it might have been. Who said something. It was the negative one on there. He gave it like a 30 out of 100 and said, "Well, they don't make them like this anymore, which is a good thing."
Like I think he put the little chuckle at the end.
Right? Jim Caviezel's character wrote that review.
Tweet that bone move.
I'm gonna tweet that. But yeah, I Frankenstein. I really want that to be.
Yeah, I'm so on board with Frankenstein being the new sexy monster.
Oh, just give him a few scars across his face.
And across his bare chest.
Yeah, across his bare
muscular,
ripped chest. Ah,
not remotely necrotic looking
that
chest.
movie is probably gonna suck.
From the makers of Underworld!
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be amazing, and I'm going to see that one.
I hope it's amazing.
It's got Bill Nighy in it.
Given that so did Underworld 4.
I know! I've seen them all!
Have you really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I only saw 1 and 4, and I felt like I saw the same movie twice. Except one had Michael Sheen in it, the other didn't. fuck, listen, like, you know what? Hey, I hope it's hilarious. I'm slightly worried in the sense that they're dumping it in January. Oh my god, I want that, I so want that to be a late 90s direct-to-video Christopher Lambert movie. We can't get Christopher Lambert, so let's get someone who looks just like him, Aaron Eckhart. Or Thomas Jane, pick one.
I like it.
Yeah, god damn it.
I want to see that, and I
Fucking
want to see Pompeii,
Frankenstein.
because they both look so dumb.
We got Grudge Match again.
The Grudgement Day.
I missed that the first time I saw that trailer.
Well, they're sitting doing I didn't realize it, but they're sitting doing, like, the press conference.
Yeah.
It says Grudgement Day on the wall, which is such a better name for that movie.
Why didn't they call it Grudgement Day?
Grudgement Day.
If you're like me and you're gonna go see that movie in the theater, you'll have no problem with the fact that they'd call it Grudgement Day. In fact, that would make you want to see it more.
I was laughing about that for like 5 minutes.
So because I didn't fucking notice it until you pointed. There was the one that Stallone wrote, Homefront. The meth head James Franco versus
Winter's
Jason
Bonish.
Statham.
I said Winter's Bonish.
Winter's Bonish?
Yeah.
Is it like, what's...
Winter's Bone is that Jennifer Lawrence. Am I confused? The one where she's got to like go up in the
that
mountains?
one. Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't see it.
I thought it was the same sort of like close-knit, druggy sort of mountain folk fucking with the main characters.
But was that one like an action movie?
Not sort of, maybe, kind of. It was like her dad got kidnapped.
Okay.
And she had to go and try to rescue him. It wasn't very action-y, but I mean, it was...
It didn't have Jason Statham kicking ass in it.
Jason Statham didn't kick much ass in this one either. He punched like a dude, but past that it was like hiding in the basement.
Wow, there's guys with guns outside. That's crazy, James Franco. When he's on meth, you can't fucking stop him. I'm excited for that. Jason Statham versus crazy-ass James Franco.
Yeah, this is a movie that'll probably give me an anxiety attack, but I want to see it anyway.
I want to see it. I'm totally on board for that. The poster for it's great, with Jason Statham, back-turned, jean jacket, stars and stripes across it.
What?
So it's like Jason Statham, American. They have a giant standee for it in there. Right below.
Yeah, he's totes American.
Right below James Franco doing the evil eyes.
Which are very similar to his pothead eyes.
Except slightly angrier. He got a bad batch this time.
I did like Bullet-Tooth Tony as we're going back to Escape Plan again.
Oh, Bullet-Tooth Tony?
Bullet-Tooth Tony.
He was great.
I don't know his actual name.
Vinnie Jones.
He shows up, I hear "You Must Be My Lucky Star" in my head.
Yeah.
Just like as kind of like befuddled, masked henchman with like weird futuristic shoulder pads.
Yeah, with those masks and shit.
The Hollywood Undead, I think I made that joke when I saw the preview, the Hollywood Undead mask. Because it's basically like, Stallone wrote this book that's got like all the stuff that you shouldn't do when you have a prison, and one of them is, have a routine. So in order to avoid that, he has all his prison guards wearing masks, so you can't tell which one is which, and so you can't tell like who's going on shift and who's going off shift. But the masks are really stupid looking, so it's basically like these like pitch black mannequin guards. And the added bonus is like you're not really giving a shit when they get gunned down.
Oh, I would be terrified if I saw that tapping outside my window.
Tip, 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 tip.
God damn it, Dave!
I just want to kiss you.
Well, come on in.
They're all making like kind of come hither mouth. The masks were like.
Yeah.
Although they did give them.
They should have had eyebrows on.
Just like draw angry eyebrows on when you're going to go beat someone up.
Or sinister eyebrows.
Quizzical eyebrows.
Someone's giving me the bedroom eyes.
You're fired. Sad eyes.
This prison is stupid.
This prison is amazing.
I think that's about all I got. I don't remember any other trailers. Next week is
The Counselor?
The Counselor.
I know Dave's psyched about that one.
Yeah. Boy, especially probably after tonight.
He deserves a good one.
Yeah, I haven't had Dave scream "fuck you" at me after a movie since Temptation.
So mad.
Ah, fuck you! What?
Ah, you're fine.
He's fine. Come on, it's only like 90 minutes. Whatever. It had to have been better than The Rage Carry 2. It's that next week, and...
The Rage Carry 2?
No, yeah, the re-release. It's the anniversary.
They converted it to 3D.
Oh, God, no. Sad thing is I can picture a couple of shots from that movie being in 3D. Yeah, like when the fucking poker goes through Sue Snell's eye and points at the screen. That movie sucked.
The Counselor.
And Bad Grandpa.
Ugh. So I won't be here next week. I'm going on a trip, it turns out.
It just came up 5 seconds ago.
Goodbye, everybody.
Alright, see ya.